decided you want a GTI, but you're not sure. Should I get the manual transmission? Should I get the automatic transmission? It's dual clutch. Which one's better? I think I know which one I want, but do I actually know what's best for me? I'm gonna give you an equation that you can run through to figure out which one's best for you, because I've owned both now, and I have a good understanding of both sides, the pros and cons. And let's really focus on the car being stock, because modified, they're completely different beasts. So for stock version comparison, let's get into it and get to that equation so you can figure out which one you think is best for you. There's two types of transmissions and there's two types of people. There's DSG transmission, there's DSG people. There's manual transmission and there's manual transmission people. Just because you're a manual transmission person doesn't necessarily mean that you should get the manual transmission depending on your circumstances, nor the other way around with the DSG getting a manual or a manual person. You understand what I'm getting at. We all know there's phases and eras of your life, and sometimes the car can help support that lifestyle or take away from it, and that calculation and that decision can affect you enjoying cars. And if you're new here, my name is Cameron Alford. I love helping individuals build confidence in the garage and helping you spend more time enjoying cars than you do being mad at them, getting stuck, wrenching on them. And I've just gotten the luxury through having your support on the videos to own so many different cars and spend so much time in cars and learn everything about them and the ownership of it and the lifestyle of being a car guy. I really like to package this information to help you make the right decision. Let's go to the shop and hit some history points on each transmission so we know where we're coming from. 1976, beginning of the GTI manual. The current gen is called an MQ350 or a O2Q transmission. One of the two are in these cars. These current generations are made to handle more power than previous years. So over many decades up until now, they've been beefed up so they can handle more and more power. They're very reliable, cheap to maintain, always have been. The weak point is the clutch, but that doesn't necessarily mean the transmission is bad. The transmission is great, it's strong. It's just the clutch is just a separate component. And that clutch being weak when you add more power to the car shouldn't drag how notably reliable and strong this manual transmission is. Stage 1 power levels should be totally fine. Anything past that, you're gonna wanna upgrade the clutch. Let's go back in time on the DSG transmission, the automatic. The DSG first appeared in 2006 in the GTIs when they were pushing the auto performance era of things. It's called a dual clutch, so it has a clutch dedicated to the odd gears and the even gears have their own. So it prepares with the other clutch the next gear so it can drop it into gear with the second clutch to have almost instantaneous shifting. You can now do things like rolling anti-lag, launch control. They designed these DSG transmissions for multiple cars, so it's actually made to handle a lot more power than what a GTI can make. So when you start modifying and making a lot bigger power, they handle it quite well. And in 2019, they updated them from 6-speed to 7-speed on the DSG side. Quick break, we're over at the house. We do have a sponsor for today and it's Uber Eats. It's already dinner time. My wife and I are not on the same page about dinner. So she ordered poke. I ordered noodles and company, some mac and cheese. We'll sit here and wait and it'll be here and we both got what we want. On their app, you can scroll through hundreds of restaurants, track your order live, and even discover new deals every single day. When we don't know what to do for dinner or I need to save some time at work or we both want to get different food, we pull up the app, go through, place our orders, and it's on the way to our house or at work. If you've never used Uber Eats before, you can give it a try. If you use Alford 15 at checkout, it'll save you $15 off your first order of $20 or more. Scan the QR code on the screen or use the link in the description. Thank you so much, Uber Eats, for sponsoring today's video and supplying some good dinner tonight. Let's get back to the episode. Bomb. An interesting way to look at this decision is, do I buy the car for me, the person, or do I buy the car for the lifestyle that I'm living? Think about that. Ponder on it. Where are you? What kind of lifestyle are you living? What kind of person are you? Where are your values? Where are your focuses? If you don't know, that's where the next part comes into play. Let me hold your hand a little bit. Let's go back through the factors at play. Editor Justin's gonna throw them on screen and align the transmission that's superior with that factor next to it so you can see all of them. And then my goal is by the end of this, you can really sit and think, what do I wanna optimize for? What factors do I wanna optimize for? And that should lead you to where you should go, based on your lifestyle or your personal interests. And then after this, I'll give you my take on where I'm at and why I had the automatic back then, why I have the manual now, and what I was optimizing for back then, and what I'm optimizing for now that led me to being happy with my decision then and happy now. This video can help you make the right decision because it's not worth owning both and feeling like you need to own both to figure out which one you like better. Like, you shouldn't worry about grass is greener on the other side, always, right? This video is to help avoid that feeling. Factors at play: speed, superior transmission, DSG. Performance, cannot argue. The 6 and 7 speed automatics, faster. Dual clutch, can't beat it. It's faster. Speed, DSG, launch control, everything about it is DSG when it comes to speed. Connection to the vehicle. Do you feel connected when you're driving it? 6-speed manual, 6MT, all day. You can feel quite a bit with the DSG, and it's a very fun transmission in terms of feel and connection for an automatic, but nothing can replace rowing gears in the manual transmission. So connection, 6-speed manual. Drivability or smoothness, DSG. Throw that puppy in regular mode, that thing is really, really smooth. When it comes to sounds, the factor of sounds the car makes, the DSG satisfying, the 6-speed manual is very purist. I have 2 for this, and this is a 50-50 one, so we're gonna put both on screen. DSG hot boy, I'm sorry, 6-speed manual transmission is purist. The sounds the turbo makes, the engine, the flutter, the way the boost builds and all that with the 6-speed manual, it's a very purist experience, and that has its own sounds for a certain type of person. The DSG, when you're new to cars, the sound it makes when it shifts, the vibration in your seat and everything about it has that cool factor. It shifts really fast under a lot of boost pressure, and it maintains boost pressure. It hits pretty hard when it shifts, and those sounds that come from that are very addicting. They can get old to certain types of people, or you can be distracted, which is my worst fear for you, and I feel like I fell into this a little bit. You think that sound matters more than the driving experience as a whole. So this could go either way, so we're gonna leave both. This is a 50-50 one. Traffic, if you're driving in traffic, a DSG all day, throw it in automatic. Can't even argue that. Peer pressure, that's a factor at play. If you have a bunch of buddies with DSGs, they're gonna tell you to get a DSG. If you have a bunch of buddies with manuals, they're gonna tell you to get a manual. So I left a squiggly line here. You can just leave a straight line here. I'm not gonna put a DSG or manual. Just make sure that you're making this decision based off of what you're optimizing for, not peer pressure from what your buddies have, because you're the one driving it. You live with it. You're buying. I just noticed that it's not that they like one more the other, or the other person hates, and there's no energy like that. It's just what happens naturally as humans. Power, readiness, DSG can handle way more power out of the box. You don't need to get a clutch or anything for it to make it work. I would say by a slim clutch, weak clutch, thin line, the DSG takes this one. If it's a vehicle you share, so shared vehicle factor, DSG, anybody can drive it. It is what it is. Maybe you have a wife that can drive manual, maybe you have a kid that can drive manual, whatever the situation is. But overall, I'd say the DSG wins. So depreciation, how does the car depreciate in value while you own it? We don't buy cars for investments, but it is a factor. When I was shopping for this car, this Mark 7.5 2019, I was so stunned at the money that people are able to sell and the asking price they're willing to ask for the manual transmissions, regardless of mileage. And the price difference, like you could get a couple grand off getting a DSG, like multiple thousands. So the 6-speed manual, the 6MT, takes it in the depreciation department, at least in this current time in 2025. Last one is learning curve / skill level. Which one's easier? Learning curve, DSG. Looking at all of these on screen, what are you optimizing for? Ask yourself, sit and pause and think and be like, what am I optimizing for? Nobody else's opinions aside, I'm gonna talk shortly about what I was optimizing for and why, and this shouldn't deter you one way or the other. Now that I've laid everything out, focus on you. If you're wondering about me, back when I got the first Mark 7 GTI, I did the DSG, obviously. I was in an era where I had been around manuals so much that the idea of a performance automatic was intriguing. I needed something different to make it interesting. That was solely based off of my abnormal experience of owning a bunch of different cars at the time, as my YouTube journey started to kind of take off, modifying cars here with you. Now, this GTI that I'm in with the manual 6-speed, I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I've been around so many automatics, all the newer tech, and I just want to go back to the basics and enjoy rowing gears, wrenching, and it being predictable. Owning a car and not financing it, that's why I bought a salvage title. I was like, you know what, I could go buy the GTI, not be stressful financially. Parts are plentiful and really fun to work on. It's a reliable car. I get to row gears, hear some turbo noises, and it just feels like the old days, and that's just where I'm at. So to me, prioritizing right now, I'm in a season of connection. I was thinking there's another one. It's really, I just want to feel connected to the car. I just want a somewhat of a analog feeling experience. I want to feel in control of the car. And every bit of that decision I'm enjoying so much right now. If you're wondering, stock for stock, if I had to compare them and pick one and tell you which one's more fun, all day the manual, because the car is so slow from factory and so tuned down slow, just straight up tuning and the torque limiting and everything about it. It's really still a good time in manual. I remember the DSG, I was like, this is a GTI. This is the most overhyped experience of my life. But once I tuned it, I was like, this is the most underrated experience for the price. So when the car's in its completely stock form, really not fast. Quick, not fast at all. Nothing exciting. Fun to drive, manual. DSG, underwhelming. Was kind of sad when I bought it, but once I tuned it, it flipped it around, which that's the same for the manual too. So maybe we can touch on this when this is fully modded out with way more power, over 400 horse. Maybe I'll miss the DSG and say that's the superior one. To be determined. I can only speak stock for stock right now. So if you want to know more about that at the end, remind me in the comments and I'll touch on it again. If you're new to the channel or you've been back for a while, there's a video right here on the screen next to me of installing a stage 1 tune and intake to make the car sound like it does in this video. It's a totally different car from stock. It's a blast. Brings a lot of personality to the car. I'll leave that video there for you to check out next. If you enjoyed the content and don't want to miss out, hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Thanks so much for being here and I can't wait to see you in the garage soon.